The vast chamber of the Galactic Council buzzed with excitement. Hundreds of alien species, each more bizarre than the last, filled the room. They came from all corners of the Milky Way, representing civilizations thousands of years old. Today was special. A new species was joining their ranks, humans from the planet Earth. High above the chamber floor, 5 imposing figures sat on ornate thrones. These were the elders, the most respected members of the council. Their species had achieved spaceflight when Earth was still cooling from its formation. Elder Zax, a towering insectoid with gleaming blue carapace, leaned forward. "Bring in the humans," he chittered. His mandibles clicked with barely concealed amusement. The massive doors at the far end of the chamber swung open. A hush fell over the crowd as 3 small figures walked in. They looked so plain. Just 2 arms, 2 legs, and oddly smooth skin. No bioluminescence, no extra appendages, not even basic telepathy. How had they even made it to space? Ambassador Chen Wei led the human delegation. She walked with confidence, her dark eyes taking in the assembly. Flanking her were Dr. Adenuga, Earth's leading xenobiologist, and Colonel Petrov, representing Earth's military. As they approached the central platform, whispers rippled through the crowd. "Look how fragile they seem. I heard they still use combustion engines. Do they even have faster-than-light travel?" Elder Vix, a being of pure energy contained in a shimmering force field, spoke. Her voice resonated through the chamber. "Welcome, humans of Earth. You stand before the Galactic Council, an alliance of over 10,000 spacefaring civilizations. We have watched your species with great interest." Ambassador Chen bowed slightly. "We are honored to be here, Elder Vix. Earth thanks you for this opportunity." A snort came from Elder Kraz, a mountain of muscle and scales. "Opportunity. You should be grateful we even acknowledge your existence. Your technology is laughable. Your weapons primitive. What can you possibly offer the Council?" Chen's expression remained neutral, but Colonel Petrov's jaw tightened. Dr. Adenuga placed a calming hand on his arm. "We come to learn and to share, Elder Kraz," Chen replied smoothly. "Humanity may be young, but we are eager to contribute." Elder Zax's antennae twitched with amusement. "Contribute? How charming. Tell us, human, what are your greatest achievements? What wonders have you created that could possibly impress us?" Chen paused, choosing her words carefully. "We have split the atom, walked on our moon, and created artificial intelligence. We have." Laughter erupted from the assembly. Even some of the elders chuckled. Elder Lore, a gaseous being swirling in a containment suit, interrupted. "Split the atom. We harness the power of entire stars. Artificial intelligence. Our children are born with more processing power than your most advanced computers." Chen's calm demeanor cracked slightly. A flicker of annoyance crossed her face before she regained composure. Elder Vix raised a tendril of energy, silencing the chamber. "Perhaps a demonstration is in order. Show us your most advanced weapon, humans. Let us see what Earth considers the pinnacle of military technology." Colonel Petrov stepped forward, reaching into his jacket. The crowd leaned in, curious despite their disdain. What primitive device would these humans present? Petrov pulled out a small, unremarkable metal cylinder. It fit easily in the palm of his hand. Confused murmurs filled the air. Elder Kraz rumbled with laughter. That is your greatest weapon. It wouldn't even scratch my scales." Ambassador Chen spoke, her voice carrying a hint of steel beneath its diplomatic tone. "With respect, elders, we would prefer not to demonstrate weapons here. Our technology may surprise you." Elder Zax waved a clawed appendage dismissively. "If you cannot back up your claims, humans, perhaps you don't belong here after all. The Galactic Council has no room for primitive species playing at being advanced." As the chamber erupted in jeers and laughter, Chen exchanged glances with her companions. Petrov's knuckles were white around the cylinder. Adenuga looked worried. Chen turned back to the elders, her voice calm but carrying an edge that cut through the noise. We accept your challenge, elders. But remember, you asked for this demonstration. Whatever happens next is on your hands." The laughter died down, replaced by curious anticipation. What could these tiny, fragile humans possibly do to impress the gathered might of the galaxy? Little did the Council know, they were about to learn why it's unwise to underestimate humanity. The stage was set for a demonstration that would shake the foundations of galactic society. The tension in the Galactic Council chamber was thick enough to cut with a knife. Ambassador Chen Wei stood tall, her eyes locked on the elders. Behind her, Colonel Petrov's hand still gripped the mysterious cylinder, while Dr. Edinuga watched the alien crowd with fascination. Elder Vix's energy form pulsed with curiosity. "Very well, humans, you have our attention. What exactly do you propose to demonstrate?" Before Chen could answer, alarms blared throughout the chamber. Red lights flashed, and panic spread through the alien delegates. A holographic screen materialized in the center of the room. It showed a massive fleet of ships approaching the Council's space station. Their design was unlike anything the gathered species had seen before. Elder Zax's antennae quivered. "Impossible. No unauthorized ships can enter this sector." Elder Kraz roared, "It's an invasion. Sound the battle stations." Amidst the chaos, the human delegation remained surprisingly calm. Ambassador Chen turned to Colonel Petrov and nodded. The soldier stepped forward, the cylinder in his hand now the center of attention. "Esteemed Council," Chen's voice cut through the panic. "It seems we have an opportunity to demonstrate Earth's capabilities sooner than expected." The elders stared at her in disbelief. Elder Lore's gaseous form swirled rapidly. "You claim your tiny weapon can stop an entire invasion fleet? Preposterous." Chen smiled. "Not just this device, Elder. Look outside." The chamber's massive windows revealed a startling sight. Dozens of ships had appeared out of nowhere, their sleek designs a stark contrast to the blocky alien vessels. On their hulls, the words Earth Defense Force gleamed in multiple languages. Gasps echoed through the chamber. Where had these ships come from? How had they bypassed the Council's advanced detection systems? Ambassador Chen's voice rang out. "Elders, honored delegates, allow us to introduce the Earth Defense Force. We came prepared for any eventuality." Colonel Petrov stepped up to the holographic display. With a few taps on the cylinder, the image changed. Now it showed a detailed tactical layout of both the invading fleet and the Earth ships. "Our stealth technology allowed our fleet to remain undetected," Petrov explained. "We positioned them as a precaution before entering Council space." Dr. Edinuga chimed in, her voice filled with pride. "What you're seeing is the result of centuries of human innovation. We may be young, but we learn fast." The Council chamber was silent, all eyes fixed on the unfolding space battle. The Earth ships moved with incredible speed and precision, outmaneuvering the invaders at every turn. Elder Vix's energy form flickered with surprise. How are they predicting the enemy's movements so accurately? Chen smiled. "The cylinder Colonel Petrov holds isn't a weapon, Elder. It's an advanced AI tactical system. It's analyzing the battle in real time, coordinating our fleet's movements." On the display, the Earth ships unleashed a barrage of weapons, unlike anything the Council had seen. Beams of light that bent around shields, missiles that split into swarms of smaller projectiles, and energy pulses that seemed to ignore the laws of physics. Elder Kraz's scales rippled with shock. "By the cosmic winds, what kind of weapons are those?" "A combination of technologies," Petrov answered. "Quantum-entangled projectiles, dark matter manipulators, and gravity lenses, to name a few." The invading fleet never stood a chance. In a matter of minutes, they were either disabled or retreating. The Earth Defense Force had won without losing a single ship. As the battle ended, the Council chamber erupted in excited chatter. Species that had dismissed humans as primitive were now looking at them with newfound respect and more than a little fear. Ambassador Chen addressed the elders once more. We hope this demonstration has shown that humanity is ready to join the Galactic Council as equals. We may be young, but we are far from helpless. Elder Vix's energy form pulsed rapidly. Indeed, Ambassador Chen, it seems we have gravely underestimated humanity. On behalf of the Council, I apologize for our earlier behavior. Chen nodded graciously. Apology accepted, Elder. Now, shall we discuss the terms of Earth's membership in the Council? As the human delegation moved to join the Elders for discussions, the other alien species watched in awe. The galaxy had changed today, and humanity had announced its arrival on the cosmic stage in a way no one would soon forget. The days following the surprise attack were a whirlwind of activity in the Galactic Council. Species that had once looked down on humans now clamored for meetings with the Earth delegation. Ambassador Chen Wei, Colonel Petrov, and Dr. Edenuga found themselves at the center of a diplomatic storm. Despite the impressive display of Earth's military might, not everyone was convinced. A vocal group of council members, led by the Zygonian representative, Krex, continued to dismiss humanity's achievements. Lucky coincidence. Krex's voice boomed through the council chamber. His gelatinous body quivered with each word. The humans merely took advantage of our distraction. I demand a proper demonstration of their so-called advanced weapons. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. Many species, while impressed by the space battle, were curious to see human technology up close. Elder Vix's energy form pulsed thoughtfully. Perhaps Krex has a point. Ambassador Chen, would your delegation be willing to provide a more controlled demonstration? Chen exchanged glances with her teammates before nodding. We would be happy to oblige, Elder. What did you have in mind? Elder Zax chittered excitedly. The trials of galactic worthiness. It's been centuries since a new species attempted them. The chamber buzzed with anticipation. The trials were legendary, a series of challenges designed to test the limits of a species' technology and ingenuity. Very well, Chen agreed. We accept the challenge of the trials. The next day, representatives from across the galaxy gathered in a massive arena. At its center stood Colonel Petrov, alone and seemingly unarmed. Surrounding him were the most advanced defensive systems the Council races could provide. Krex's voice echoed through the arena. Human, your challenge is simple. Breach our defenses using only the weapons you can carry. You have 1 hour. Laughter rippled through the crowd. The defenses looked impenetrable: energy shields, gravity wells, time distortion fields, and more. How could one human possibly overcome them? Petrov stood calmly, his hands empty. I accept the challenge. But I have one question. Are you sure you want me to use our most advanced handheld weapons? The consequences could be significant. Krex scoffed. Stop stalling, human. Show us these amazing weapons you claim to have. Petrov shrugged. As you wish. He reached into his pocket and pulled out what looked like an ordinary smartphone. More laughter erupted. That's it. An ancient communication device. Krex mocked. Petrov smiled. This ancient device is more powerful than you can imagine. He tapped the screen a few times. Suddenly, the arena's systems went haywire. Shields flickered and died. Gravity wells reversed. Time distortion fields collapsed. Gasps of shock echoed through the stands. Krex's gelatinous form wobbled in disbelief. What's happening? Dr. Edenuga's voice came over the arena speakers. What you're witnessing is the power of human quantum computing. Colonel Petrov's device just hacked and overrode every system in this arena simultaneously. Petrov calmly walked through the disabled defenses, reaching the center in minutes. He held up the device. This isn't just a weapon. It's a tool that can adapt to any situation, any technology. In the right hands, it's more powerful than any conventional weapon. The arena was silent. The implications were staggering. If humans could so easily overcome the combined defenses of the galaxy's most advanced races, what else were they capable of? Ambassador Chen stepped forward. As you can see, Humanity's strength lies not in brute force, but in innovation and adaptability. We don't just build bigger guns, we change the rules of the game. Elder Vix's energy form pulsed rapidly. Incredible. Simply incredible. I believe we owe humanity a serious apology. Krex, however, was not ready to concede. His gelatinous form rippled with anger. Tricks and hacking. That proves nothing about your real combat capabilities. I demand a true test of strength. Chen's eyes narrowed. Be careful what you wish for, Representative Krex. We've shown you our technology. Push us further, and we might have to demonstrate our more conventional weapons. The tension in the arena was palpable. Humanity had proven its technological superiority, but some races still doubted their overall strength. As the council members argued among themselves, it was clear that the real test for humanity was yet to come. Little did they know, events were already in motion that would push Earth's capabilities to their limits and change the galaxy forever. The Galactic Council chamber was in an uproar. Days had passed since Colonel Petrov's astounding demonstration, and the debate about humanity's place in the galaxy raged on. Some species welcomed Earth with open arms, while others, like the Zygonians, remained deeply suspicious. Ambassador Chen Wei stood at the center of the storm, her calm demeanor a stark contrast to the chaos around her. Dr. Adenuga furiously took notes on alien behaviors, while Colonel Petrov kept a watchful eye on the exits. Something felt off, but he couldn't quite place it. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. Red emergency lights bathed the chamber in an eerie glow. Elder Vix's energy form crackled with urgency. We're under attack. Multiple unknown ships have entered the system. Holographic screens materialized, showing a terrifying sight. Hundreds of sleek, black ships poured out of what looked like a tear in space itself. They were unlike anything the Council had ever seen. Elder Zax's mandibles clicked rapidly. Impossible. They've bypassed all our early warning systems. Panic spread through the chamber. Various species rushed to contact their homeworlds, only to find all communications jammed. Ambassador Chen's voice cut through the chaos. Elders, what defenses does this station have? Elder Kraz rumbled. The most advanced in the galaxy. Weapons that can shatter planets, shields that can withstand supernovas. We are impregnable. As if in answer to his boast, the station shook violently. Alarms screamed as systems began to fail. Impregnable, you said. Petrov muttered, his hands flying over his device. Their weapons are like nothing I've ever seen. They're not just destroying our defenses. They're unmaking them somehow. On the screens, they watched in horror as the Council's mighty defense fleet engaged the invaders. Ships that had stood strong for millennia were torn apart in seconds. It was a massacre. Elder Lore's gaseous form swirled in distress. Who are they? What do they want? As if in answer, a chilling message echoed through the station. We are the Void. Your time is over. Surrender and be unmade. The chamber fell silent. The Void. Every species had myths about them. Ancient destroyers from beyond the galaxy. But they were just stories, weren't they? Ambassador Chen stepped forward. Elders, we need to evacuate. Earth's ships are still in the system. We can provide cover while. Her words were cut off as a massive explosion rocked the station. Lights flickered and artificial gravity failed. Aliens of all species floated helplessly, panic giving way to despair. In the midst of the chaos, Colonel Petrov's voice rang out. Ambassador, I've analyzed their attack pattern. There's a weakness, but exploiting it will require technology that only we have. Chen nodded grimly. Do it, whatever it takes. Petrov's fingers danced over his device. Suddenly, the remaining Earth ships sprang into action. They moved in ways that defied the laws of physics, appearing and disappearing across the battlefield. Dr. Edenuga explained, her voice filled with awe. Quantum entanglement drives. Our ships aren't just moving. They're probabilistically shifting between locations. The tide of the battle began to turn. Earth's ships, though far fewer in number, ran circles around the Void Fleet. For every human vessel destroyed, a dozen Void ships were taken out. But it wasn't enough. The Void's numbers were overwhelming, and more kept pouring through the spatial tier. Elder Vix turned to Chen, her energy form dim with resignation. "Ambassador, your people fight bravely, but it's hopeless. The Void cannot be stopped." Chen's eyes blazed with determination. "No, this isn't over. Humanity has faced extinction before, and we've always found a way. We have one last card to play." She turned to Petrov. "Colonel, it's time. Activate the Omega Protocol." Petrov's face paled. "Ambassador, are you sure? The consequences." "We have no choice," Chen cut him off. "The fate of the galaxy hangs in the balance." As Petrov reluctantly entered a complex series of commands into his device, the council members watched in confusion and fear. What could these humans possibly do in the face of such overwhelming force? Little did they know, humanity's true power was about to be unleashed, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Galactic Council chamber hung in eerie silence. The constant barrage from the Void ships had suddenly ceased, as if the enemy sensed something big was about to happen. All eyes were on Colonel Petrov, as his fingers danced across his device, initiating the mysterious Omega Protocol. Ambassador Chen Wei stood tall, her face a mask of grim determination. Dr. Edenuga clutched her data pad, recording what might be the last moments of galactic civilization. The alien council members floated in zero gravity, a mix of fear and curiosity on their varied faces. "Omega Protocol activated," Petrov announced, his voice steady despite the weight of his actions. T-minus 60 seconds to full deployment. Elder Vix's energy form pulsed weakly. "What is this Omega Protocol, Ambassador? What are you doing?" Chen's eyes never left the holographic display of the battle. "It's humanity's last line of defense, Elder. A weapon we hoped we'd never have to use." Suddenly, the remaining Earth ships began to move in perfect synchronization. They formed a complex geometric pattern around the Galactic Council station, their hulls glowing with an otherworldly energy. 30 seconds, Petrov called out. Krex, the Zygonian representative who had doubted humanity, wobbled nervously. "This is madness. What can your handful of ships do against the Void?" Dr. Edenuga smiled grimly. "It's not about the ships, Krex. It's about what they're channeling." The glow from the Earth ships intensified, forming energy beams that connected each vessel. The beams began to spin faster and faster, creating a sphere of blinding light around the station. 10 seconds, Petrov announced. Ambassador Chen turned to address the council. "What you're about to witness is the culmination of humanity's scientific achievement. We call it the quantum entanglement field." As the countdown hit 0, reality itself seemed to buckle. The sphere of energy expanded rapidly, engulfing the Void Fleet. Where it touched the black ships, they simply vanished. Not exploded, not destroyed, but erased from existence. Gasps of awe and terror filled the chamber. The Void ships, which had seemed invincible moments ago, were disappearing by the hundreds. Elder Zax's mandibles clicked rapidly. Impossible. They're rewriting probability itself. Dr. Adenuga nodded. Exactly. The quantum entanglement field allows us to selectively alter reality. We're shifting the Void ships to a parallel universe where they never existed in our space. The battle was over in minutes. Where once there had been an overwhelming enemy fleet, now there was nothing but empty space. The tear in space that had spawned them collapsed in on itself, sealing shut. As the energy field dissipated, the Earth ships powered down. Many looked worse for wear, their hulls scorched and warped from channeling such immense power. Colonel Petrov slumped in exhaustion. Omega Protocol complete. Threat neutralized. The chamber erupted in cheers. Various alien species hugged each other, those with appendages anyway, celebrating their unexpected survival. But the Earth delegation remained somber. Elder Vix floated towards them, her energy form bright with excitement. "Ambassador, this is incredible. With this technology, the galaxy will never again fear invasion. We must begin sharing this immediately." Chen shook her head. "I'm sorry, Elder, but that's impossible. The quantum entanglement field is too dangerous to be used regularly." "What do you mean?" Elder Kraz rumbled. "We just saw its power." Petrov stepped forward, his face grave. "The field doesn't just affect its targets. It strains the very fabric of space-time. Used too often, it could unravel reality itself." A hush fell over the chamber as the implications sank in. Humanity had saved them all, but at what cost? Ambassador Chen addressed the stunned council. "This is why we kept the Omega Protocol secret. It's a weapon of absolute last resort. Using it even once has consequences we can't fully predict." Dr. Edenuga's data pad beeped urgently. Her eyes widened as she read the display. "Ambassador, we have a problem. The quantum aftermath. It's causing ripples." "Ripples?" Elder Lore's gaseous form swirled in confusion. "What do you mean?" Adenuga looked up, her face pale. "Temporal ripples. We didn't just move the void ships in space. We've altered time itself." As if to punctuate her words, the station shuddered. Outside the windows, stars blinked in and out of existence. The fabric of space-time, strained by the incredible forces unleashed, was beginning to tear. Ambassador Chen's voice cut through the rising panic. "Everyone, remain calm. This isn't over yet. Humanity got us into this mess, and will get us out." Colonel Petrov, "Prep the temporal stabilizers." "Dr. Edenuga, I need calculations for a controlled quantum collapse. We got a universe to save." As the Earth team sprang into action, the Galactic Council watched in awe. They had mocked human weapons, but now humanity stood as the last hope for existence itself. The Galactic Council station groaned and shuddered, straining against the temporal distortions caused by the quantum entanglement field. Outside the viewport, reality itself seemed to flicker and warp. Stars blinked in and out of existence, and the very color of space shifted unpredictably. Ambassador Chen Wei stood at the center of the chaos, her voice steady as she directed the human team. "Colonel Petrov, status on the temporal stabilizers." Petrov's fingers flew over his device, his brow furrowed in concentration. "Online and at full power, Ambassador. They're slowing the temporal decay, but they can't stop it completely." Dr. Edenuga called out from her station, surrounded by holographic displays filled with complex equations. "I've got the calculations for a controlled quantum collapse, but it's risky. We'll need to create a reverse entanglement field to cancel out the original." Chen nodded grimly. "Do it. We're out of options." As the humans worked frantically to save reality itself, the alien members of the Galactic Council watched in a mixture of awe and terror. Species that had once sneered at humanity now looked to them as their only hope. Elder Vix's energy form pulsed erratically, affected by the temporal distortions. "Ambassador, what can we do to help?" Chen turned to the council, her eyes blazing with determination. "We need power, more power than humanity has ever channeled before. Can your ships link with ours to amplify the reverse entanglement field?" Elder Zax chittered nervously. "But our technology is incompatible with yours." "The risk." "The risk of doing nothing is far greater." Chen cut him off. "Either we all work together, or reality as we know it ceases to exist." A moment of silence fell over the chamber. Then, one by one, the council members nodded their agreement. Krex, the once doubting Zygonian, was the first to speak up. "The Zygonian fleet stands ready, Ambassador. Tell us what to do." What followed was a flurry of activity unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Ships of all shapes and sizes, representing thousands of different species, moved into formation around the human vessels. Engineers from 100 worlds worked side by side, jerry-rigging connections between wildly different technologies. Colonel Petrov coordinated the massive fleet, his earlier exhaustion forgotten in the rush of adrenaline. All ships, channel your power to the designated nodes. Prepare for energy transfer on my mark. Dr. Edenuga's voice was tense as she made the final adjustments to her calculations. Ambassador, we're ready, but I must warn you, the energies we're dealing with, they're beyond anything we've ever attempted. There's no guarantee this will work. Chen placed a hand on Edenuga's shoulder. It will work, Doctor. It has to. With a deep breath, Chen gave the order. All ships, activate reverse entanglement field. Now. The station shook violently as energy beyond imagination surged through it. Outside, the combined fleet glowed with a light that outshone stars. The reverse entanglement field expanded, a shimmering bubble of pure possibility. Where it touched the temporal distortions, reality seemed to snap back into place. Stars stabilized, the color of space normalized, and the groaning of the station subsided. For a moment, it seemed like they had succeeded. Then, without warning, the bubble of energy began to collapse in on itself. It's too much power, Petrov shouted over the alarms. The field is becoming unstable. Edenuga's eyes widened in realization. It's not just unstable, it's going to implode. If that happens, it'll create a black hole that could swallow half the galaxy. Chen's mind raced. They were so close, but the very power they needed to save everything was now threatening to destroy it all. In that moment, she made a decision that would change the course of galactic history. Colonel, divert all power from the station to my personal quantum link, she ordered, her voice calm despite the gravity of the situation. Petrov's face paled. Ambassador, no. The human body can't channel that much energy. It'll kill you. Chen smiled sadly. Perhaps, but it might just save everyone else. Before anyone could stop her, Chen strode to the center of the chamber. As Petrov reluctantly carried out her orders, she began to glow with an otherworldly light. The assembled aliens watched in awe as Ambassador Chen Wei, representative of humanity, took the full force of a galaxy's worth of energy into herself. Chen's voice, now echoing with power beyond comprehension, rang out, I am humanity. We bend, but do not break. We fall, but always rise. And now, we remake reality itself. With a gesture, she expanded the reverse entanglement field, her human consciousness guiding the raw power of creation. The imploding energy bubble stabilized, then slowly began to dissipate. As the last of the temporal distortions faded, Chen collapsed to the floor, her body smoking, but her mission accomplished. The galaxy was saved, but at what cost? And what would this ultimate display of human potential mean for the future of the Galactic Council? The Galactic Council chamber was eerily quiet. Where moments before chaos had reigned, now an almost reverent hush had fallen. All eyes were fixed on the still form of Ambassador Chen Wei, lying motionless on the floor where she had collapsed after saving reality itself. Colonel Petrov rushed to Chen's side, his device scanning her vital signs. Dr. Edenuga joined him, her face etched with worry. The alien council members watched, holding their breath, those who breathed anyway. It's she. Elder Vix's energy form flickered anxiously. Petrov looked up, his expression a mix of disbelief and hope. She's alive. Barely. But her readings, they're off the charts. I've never seen anything like this. As if on cue, Chen's body began to glow faintly. Her eyes fluttered open, but instead of their usual brown, they shimmered with swirling galaxies. Ambassador, Edenuga asked cautiously. Chen sat up slowly, her movements fluid and graceful despite her recent ordeal. When she spoke, her voice echoed with a newfound power. I'm here, Doctor. And I'm so much more. The council chamber erupted in murmurs of awe and confusion. Chen stood, the glow around her intensifying. What happened to you? Krex asked, his gelatinous form quivering with a mix of fear and fascination. Chen smiled, a smile that seemed to contain the wisdom of ages. I touched the fabric of reality itself. The energy, it changed me. I can see everything now. Past, present, future. The interconnectedness of all things. Elder Zax's mandibles clicked rapidly. You've become a being of pure energy, like the mythical precursors of legend. Not quite, Chen replied. I'm still human, but I've evolved. And I can see now that this was always humanity's destiny. Not to conquer the galaxy, but to protect it, to guide it. The implications of her words sank in. A species that had been mocked and underestimated now stood revealed as perhaps the most powerful force in the galaxy. Elder Kraz rumbled thoughtfully. What does this mean for the Galactic Council? For the balance of power? Chen turned to face the assembled aliens, her gaze both kind and commanding. It means change. The old ways of division and suspicion must end. We faced extinction together, and together we triumphed. Now we must forge a new path. A united galaxy, with each species contributing its unique strengths. She gestured, and a holographic map of the galaxy appeared, showing swirling currents of energy and possibility. There are threats out there greater than the void, challenges that will require all of us working as one. Humanity stands ready to lead the way, not as conquerors, but as partners. The council chamber buzzed with excitement and nervous energy. Centuries of tradition and power structures were being upended, but in their place, a new hope was emerging. Petrov stepped forward, standing tall beside Chen. Earth remains committed to sharing our technology responsibly. We've seen the dangers of unchecked power. Our role will be to guide and protect, not to dominate. Adenuga joined them, her scientific curiosity overcoming her initial shock. Think of the advancements we can make together, the mysteries of the universe we can unravel. One by one, the council members voiced their support. Even Krex, who had been humanity's biggest doubter, bowed his gelatinous form in respect. We were fools to mock you, he admitted. Humanity has proven itself 100 times over. You have my support, and that of the Zygonian Empire. As the new alliance took shape, Chen felt the currents of time and possibility shifting. The future was uncertain, but filled with potential. Humanity had found its place in the stars, not through force of arms, but through the strength of its spirit and the power of its intellect. Elder Vix floated forward, her energy form pulsing with excitement. Ambassador, or should I say, Guardian Chen, what happens now? Chen's cosmic eyes twinkled with the light of distant stars. Now we take our first steps into a larger universe. There are wonders to explore, civilizations to meet, and a galaxy to safeguard. The journey won't be easy, but together, there's nothing we can't achieve. As the newly united Galactic Council began to plan for this brave new future, Chen felt a sense of profound satisfaction. Humanity had been underestimated, mocked, and doubted. But in the end, they had proven that their greatest weapon was not one of destruction, but of creation, of unity, of hope. The stars beckoned, and a new age of galactic cooperation dawned. Humanity, once the newcomers, now stood ready to lead the charge into a brighter tomorrow. The universe would never be the same, and the adventure was just beginning.